And it's something which I talk about quite a lot in some of the fundraising discussions I have, which I frame as the problem being the founder's curse of knowledge. And you often see it in pitch decks or pitches where they just kind of let loose and just kind of vomit everything they know. And I suppose what you're doing here through a PR lens is saying, how do I moderate that and craft a story which is really going to hang on this specific media profile or the media outlet's reader profile, etc. Well, reader, viewer, whatever. And so I suppose it's a good analogy to say it's the same with investors, just as it is with customers. You've got to be really specific about the story you tell, what are the plot twists, what are the character backstories kind of thing for the founding team, etc., so that you can differentiate yourself. And it's the same in PR as it is in fundraising. You've got to be able to cut through the noise and make sure that you're standing out, because it is competitive, whether it's for column inches, bought media, or whether it's for investment pounds or dollars. It's super competitive, and you've got to be able to stand out with substance.
Absolutely. And that's what I was saying before about when you create your narrative, how do you carve up your narrative, whether that's your corporate narrative or your narrative for your campaigns, to make sure that it's relevant. There is no one size fits all anymore. You don't create a press release and send it out to everybody. You carve up your story to the relevant media, whether that's what's the investor story, what's the consumer story, what's the B2B story, what's the broadcast story. They're all different.
And I suppose that's a really important piece, isn't it? Just for founders in general. What is your reason for existence? What's your why? What's your story? What's the impact you're trying to make? What's the vision you've got? And I suppose it's one of those great exercises that founders should do all the time. I'm not saying it's a weekly thing, but this is the PR agency saying this is the to-do list. If you haven't done it, even for us, you should do it for yourselves anyway, whether it's in the way you're hiring, the way you're trying to build products, the way you're trying to pitch to investors. Crafting that story is really important, not at least of all to say what you are doing, but also to say this is what we're not doing. Okay, this is what makes us different. This is why we deserve a place at the table.